Hello everyone, welcome back to the remaining topics of the current affairs. So we have discussed almost all the important topics in detail as far as the analysis part is concerned of most of the topics, including the quality, IR, economy, science and tech, and environment. So from January 2020 we started and we have completed almost till February. So there are some of the important topics which are remaining, which happened into this from Feb last to the April. So we are going to discuss on that. So before getting into that zone, as you all know, this COVID phase part 2, this is very difficult and we have all suffered in some way or the other, or some of our knowns have suffered, right? So actually it's the failure on three levels. Firstly, the leadership level, secondly, on the institutional level, and thirdly, on the citizen level, right? So when you have a failure on all the three levels, then it is going to be a disaster. On the leadership level, there is a lot of vacuum. On the institution level, you better know how this the combination of the leadership and institution have failed us. Apart from the citizens who were supposed to behave in a different way, but when these two institutions with these two things fail in some way or the other, definitely the impact is going on to this citizen or the ground level, right? So धुंध में आकाश का मौसम है मेरे देश में, मौत के सहवास का मौसम है मेरे देश में, शोर कितना भी हो अब सुनने में नहीं आएगा अब, क्योंकि हर तरफ उल्लास का मौसम है मेरे देश में. तो तुम चुप रहो या फिर तुम गाना गाओ, तुमको पूरी छूट है, और हर तरफ खुली बकवास का मौसम है मेरे देश में. So this is the grim reality of this grim situation. Unfortunately, so many people have lost lives, but at the end of the day, no matter what, the humanity has always survived, and this time also it is going to survive, and it has shown us the way of the hope in some way or the other, be from the frontline workers to the selfless people who are working day and night for and fighting against this pandemic, right? So the story of COVID and your UPSC preparation is very much similar in some way or the other. How? So if we go back to 2019, especially in the last part, November to December, when we were cherishing the freedom, the government was busy at that time in anti-CAA protest. Then there was Trump visit, and on the political front, in the MP and Maharashtra, there was toppling of government. And then when it became in 2020, January and February, you all know how Delhi riots happened, and the entire country was welcoming Trump at that time. So that was the scenario in India, and globally. In China, December showed the first few cases, at least to the world. So there are so many different views that the pandemic got started before December, but in December the world came to know about this kind of COVID-19, or at that time novel coronavirus, right? So from December to January, till February, the situation was becoming grim and grim every day. And it is not about India, it's most about all of the countries in the world were busy in some way or the other in different way, right? They didn't thought at that time this pandemic is going to play such a disastrous role in our day-to-day life, right? So that was the first phase, and suddenly when in the mid of the March, when government and the leadership and the institution wake up from this hangover of all these things, they went into the lockdown. In March, the situation was very panicking. the cases started rising day by day, and there was no testing, no infrastructure, no health facilities to fight this virus. So there was only one solution to get into the severe lockdown, and you all know how it affected on the economic front or the humanitarian crisis. So you ignored the initial signals. You were very much bothered about all the other external factors which were going into the country. You ignored the initial signs and you had to pay the price. So from March till September, till the peak, this was basically the cycle that everything was getting closed, getting open one day or other, new guidelines are coming. We have spoken about that into the COVID part. Then after September, what happened? When things started becoming more on the positive, and the COVID and everyone thought that this pandemic is going to get over, especially the kind of the signal leadership and our institution gave us, that led to the disaster of citizen behavior, and the citizen let their guards down. So सितंबर के बाद क्या हुआ कि धीरे धीरे जैसी लगी कि चीज़ें इंप्रूव हो रही हैं, तो चीज़ें ओपन अप होने लगी, सिटीजन्स को लगा सब कुछ बदल रहा है, बिकॉज एट द लीडरशिप लेवल एंड एट द इंस्टीट्यूशन लेवल थिंग्स वर गेटिंग डिफरेंट. So from September till February, things were on the again back into the same cycle. और इसके बाद में if you calculate or if you get into the September to February 2021 2020 to 2021 timeline, you will see again the situation was same. Farmer protest, then there was again elections, and so many other religious or different gathering. And here citizens, because the leadership and institution gave this kind of the signal that everything is going to be get normal soon, and in the March first week, when the numbers have already started rising at the end of this February, our health minister said it is going to be get over soon. So citizens let their guard down. We were again into that same vicious cycle. After losing a year and after losing so much on the economy and the humanitarian front, from the migration crisis to so many other factors, we were again back to the vicious cycle of repeating the same mistake, and this time we had to pay a much higher price. So from 2019 to the first cycle of September 2020, and from the second cycle September 2022, this April or May, we haven't learned anything, at least on the institution level or on the leadership level or on the citizen level. So that is the first phase, that is the first story of COVID. And now let me correlate this to your UPSC preparation. So for example, you have already attempted once UPSC and you have not cleared the prelims or the mains examination, for suppose, or you are going to appear for the first time. The examination is going to happen, for example, October, right? So when you are going to appear in the October, or if you are going to appear into the next year, for suppose, so you will start your preparation from October or September of this year, and then again you will think the exam is going to happen next year June. You have a lot of ample amount of time. You will ignore all the initial signals that on which areas you have to focus, how you have to read the NCERTs, how you have to make the notes, how you have to do all of the basic things. So you will continue this on and off approach till March 2022, and then again from March, after celebrating the Valentine and the Holi, you will get into the panicking situation that now you have to complete everything with no basics. You don't have any base for the NCERT, you haven't prepared any of the notes, you didn't get into the newspaper reading or completing your concepts and the normal things. And then at the end of the day, you will want PDF, you will want short notes, you want to solve all the tests, you want to read the NCERTs, but you are not going to do anything, and finally you are going to get panic on the final day, and the result, if you are very much lucky or you are Bhagwan ka bachcha, then you are going to clear the prelims. Otherwise you are going to get again into the same cycle if you have already committed this mistake. And if you are a newcomer, for example, and in the month of the June you will feel कि okay अब तो नहीं हुआ है, now I will start fresh. But starting the fresh, at least you will take 3 to 4 months break, because now you want a little bit of relax, that okay अभी तो बहुत सारी पढ़ाई कर ली, अब I want to relax a bit. And then again from October, November you will think to start, and then again you haven't prepared your optional, you haven't completed your NCRTs, so 2 or 3 months will be lost again, and you will get into the same vicious cycle of repeating the same kind of a mistake. So firstly, actually I have told you this before also, that the basic difference between the one day examination of, for example, SSC or these kind of examination which are on the lower side, because you are going to appear for the examination of UPSC Civil Services, which is going to have 600 to 700 the cream layer, or the students which are going to give you on the elite side of the table. So for that also you have to at least perform and prepare in with that kind of the gravity. So if this kind of the examination, the pattern is very much fixed if you have 3 or 4 months, if you work, because as I told you in the classical mechanics, the orbit of the electron is fixed, and the probability of, and there is no other permutation of combination for their success. तो यहाँ पे इंग्लिश, मैथ और जो जनरल साइंस है उसका एकदम सिंपल फंडा है कि इतने क्वेश्चन यहाँ आने हैं, इतने क्वेश्चन यहाँ आने हैं, इसमें इतनी प्रैक्टिस करनी है. सो एवरीथिंग इज क्वाइट ऑफ द फिक्स लेवल. बट हियर यूपीएससी, every time the paper is so much dynamic that clearing the examination, this electron has to do a lot of permutation and combination to pass this threshold of success. That is why the gravity of this examination is not like just preparing, okay, this time I am going to prepare pre, then I will go prepare for mains. There is nothing like a very much difference in preparing pre or the mains. It's more like the holistic approach which you should have for an entire year and a year to year and a half to at least clear this examination, right? There can be times like, for example, before the prelims examination or 100 days before prelims, 3 to 3.5 months, then you are purely focusing on the prelims oriented studies where you are more on the learning the revision of the basic concepts and the facts. But if I talk about this holistic approach of the examination, it is going to be pre plus mains plus interview, where you are doing your preparation layer by layer. Firstly you have completed the NCRTs, then you have completed the standard books, then you have your own notes, then you have your own current affairs notes, you are reading the newspaper, you are completing your optional. So it is more like a layer by layer preparation which you are doing on the everyday basis and revising that again and again, so that on the final day this electron has the highest probability to cross this threshold of the success. So don't repeat the mistakes which most of the students, or which the kind of the conversation which I read, especially in the groups, where you are so much bothered about that this PDF or that PDF. Actually this PDF can be a good source of the revision when you have already completed these kind of the layers, right? Then this PDFs can help you out. But if you are totally relying that this is like this PDF, if a single PDF or 100 to 200 pages is going to make you clear this examination, then you should again think that which kind of the examination you are actually looking forward, or what is the gravity of this examination, right? So that is my advice again and again. Still for October 10th, you have some or the other time left, especially if you prepare according to your 100 days strategy, especially the students which have started their preparation at least 3 to 4 months, they are working on it in a more sincere way, they can still make it through this examination, because initially it was on the 27th June and you have now ample amount of time to miss on the things which you have missed, to cover them and to make your strategy again and again. So what you have to do, you should more focus on the basic NCRTs, reading and covering the dimensions and layers in other way, right? Then you should go for the standard books of be it on the polity, economy or modern history, or some of the books which have been recommended by different faculties. Then approaching the current affairs into the more of the holistic way, because UPSC has started asking you question not only on the factual basis but on the conceptual and the dynamic basis, right? For example, if I give you an example, if I want to ask a very simple question, that which is the most populous country in this world, or the country which has the most population, I will directly ask this question into this SSC. That is the SSC level of question. Which country has most population in the world, right? Then I want to ask a question, the same question if I want to frame into the state services, then I will ask, arrange the countries, the following countries in order of their population, right? Then I will give you 4 to 5 countries and I will ask you to arrange them. But the same question if I want to ask into the UPSC, the question which I will ask, that 4 of the Asian countries are into the top 10, 4 Asian countries are into top 10 countries which have the most number of population, right? So here actually I have made what, the same question I have just made into the different domain, or I have escalated its level, right? So first you have to understand, for example, there is every data is getting published on, be it on the Worldometer or anything. So you see on the last column they are everyone is talking about these days, the data is talking about per million or with respect to the population, right? So if I want to ask this question, so if I want to make an statement into the UPSC that consider the following statement, one of the statement I can easily ask in this way, because this has nothing done, the basic information is same, but I have escalated the layer of the question that I have mentioned, that in top 10 countries there are 4 Asian countries, right, or 4 African countries, depending the kind of information which I am deriving and giving, right? Similarly, if I am asking a question, for example, I have told you so many times that you have to relate to the correlation. So there is lot of in the initial time there is a lot of debate, especially on the health infrastructure. So for example, if I want to ask a question which is little bit related to the geography and little bit related to the governance, or a little bit related to the social issues, I will ask a question like that Narmada not only acts as a geographical boundary between north and south, but it also acts a boundary for the social indicators on health and education, where I am actually trying to make you compare the social indicators of the northern belt of our country and to the southern belt of our country, right? So these kind of the questions which are basically based on basic understanding and the correlation and how well you have read the keywords and the concepts, then only you are going to answer. Like for example, I have given that question into the last year test series also, which the UPSC has directly picked the question in the same way which I have asked on the raw material presence and the location of the industries. That is the direct topic from the NCERT, right? So you have to understand the basic theme of this examination rather than getting into the direction and joining so many different type of the groups which you people are constantly doing. That is not going to help you out. Let me make you very much understand, this examination is all about your knowledge and temperament. That is, you are what you have perceived and what you have gained and how you have achieved that after so many different kind of mistakes and then overcoming that. So that is very much important for you to maintain your own rationality in this examination, right? So जितना ज़्यादा आप इंट्यूशन और परसेप्शन में उलझे रहेंगे, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर watching so many different videos of so many different people, then you are going to be in some way or the direction, but not into the straight way of direction which is very much required to clear this examination. So better start trusting yourself, follow the right genuine sources, follow the things, follow the right genuine sources. And as far as the lectures and other things are concerned, you should always make the notes of, while watching the lecture, you should always make the notes. So again and again, you don't have to invest a lot of time in repeating and watching the same lecture and again, and then you are inculcating more number of hours in watching the lecture rather than going for the self study. तो अब perception और intuition का difference I told you, and that is very much different from the realism. तो for example, अगर मैं perception पे बात करूँ, and if I am going to make you say, if I am going to make you meet a person and I am going to introduce him, कि he is the writer of, or he is the screenplay writer of a very famous movie from which the Rajkumar Rao, I think he debuted, movie named as Ragini MMS. So the kind of the perception which you will inculcate, knowing that he is the screenplay writer of the movie of these kind of the genre, right? And the next statement, if I am going to say that he is the screenplay writer of Newton, also, just see the difference, the kind of the perception and the kind of the realism can change the perception, right? So that is very much important, that the writer of the Ragini MMS and the Newton can be same. That is the reality. So don't get diverted into so many different other groups, so many different kind of the charts, which unnecessarily people are making you to go ahead, and there is nothing productive going to be in those kind of things. So especially for the current affairs, if you haven't followed anything, at least do follow this weekly updates which have been prepared extensively along with the weekly quiz. That is going to help you at least getting reminded of getting you flavor what is actually going on in some way or the other sphere of different polity or economy domains, right? And the quiz is also going to help you in different learnings that these kind of the things were seen in news. So at least if something clicks you at that time when the question has been reflected in UPSC paper in some way or the other, at least you have some idea, right? So this current affairs thing is, you know, there is a continuum of dimension which is very broad, right? So it needs a constant kind of a approach to cover it day by day. I don't know, I've told you at least to make notes or anything, but I don't think at least even 5% or the 10% of students have maintained their notes from October, leave apart the January, from October to May. So this is actually not going to help you into the longer term, because whenever you are going to, if you clear your pre-examination, then again you are into that vicious cycle of the main examination. You don't have any kind of the notes. You are then into the 60 to 70 days the UPSC which will give you if it follows the last year kind of the calendar. So in 70 to 70, maximum 75 days, you are not going to do wonders in that, right? So that's why I say again and again, still there is time to make your preparation into the right, better way. Okay. So when I was talking about this institution, leadership and citizen, on these three levels, if you actually want to learn something, or if you actually want to write some good answers, you should read that how Japan and how South Korea both have worked extensively well on catching up the pandemic and fighting that virus into a very different way, despite the fact their close proximity to the China in terms of the geographical location. But at the institution level or at the leadership level, South Korea has shown the world that there can be some kind of the role model. And similarly on the citizen, the discipline, the kind of the things which happened into the Japan, which is very much known for its discipline, the citizens have really complied with to the norms of the COVID which has been prescribed by the government. So see, it's been more than 18 months around that this COVID pandemic has started, but if I talk about you can impose a fine for not wearing a mask, that is fine. But how many times you have seen that there been a mask, there been a fine imposed on wearing the mask in the way most of the, or the 60% of the Indians are wearing, especially when they are meeting someone, they are actually pulling down the mask, or they are actually making the mask and with the visibility of the nose completely and getting exposed to the virus day by day, right? So these kind of the things which are failure at the citizenship level, they also have a very important role in terms of the institution and leadership level. That's why I say कि at the aspirant level, if you cannot be a very good aspirant, then into the later stage also when you will join this institution, you are going to play some or the other role which is very much of the you are going to play the same kind of the role with the qualities which are inherited in you, right? So South Korea, Japan, especially a country like Vietnam, which is very much low key on resources, has shown the world that this pandemic can be fight in a very efficient manner if you do well on these three levels. So since it's been 40 to 45 days in Hindu or Indian Express, whichever newspaper you are reading, if I talk about health, your note should comprise the dimensions, especially the first thing about this COVID-19. What do you mean by genome sequencing, virus, vaccine, this coronavirus growth? These are the scientific things which you should know. Then on the institution level, which are the world or the Indian institution are involved, or what are the new kind of the initiative, be it the COVAX facility, Gavi, ICMR, National Institute of Virology. These kind of the bodies which are already in news or so much in news, you should at least know what is their function, which kind of the body, who is chairing them, because a question can be asked especially into the prelims part. Then there is a lot of debate, especially in India, public health, and I am very much sure UPSC will ask a question at least be it into the society section or into the science section on the, or maybe into the governance sections also. This public health topic is very much important, and it has been, you will get a beautiful articles, especially into the Hindu and Indian Express also, both who are talking about the vacuum of the public health this country is having, despite the fact that in India one of the most prominent brain, be it into the virology or immunology or in terms of the public health, there are one of the most wonderful brains in India, despite the fact this public health vacuum is so much messed up, right? And then there is the policy or the governance, where you have the health infrastructure, how much spending you are doing, what is the structure of the health infrastructure in our country. For example, the question can be asked especially on the PHC, CSC and district level, or what kind of the major reforms of the policy has been recently changed, or what are the things which are in vacuum and needs a constant upgrade. So these kind of the 4 or 5 dimensions, if you have covering the last 40 to 45 days, if you are reading the newspaper and you are extracting the right information, then definitely, at least in the mains, you will be eased in writing 2 to 3 or maybe 4 answers which are going into this domain periphery. The basic, if you know, if you are covering the basic keywords and the basic concepts, then the answer can be conceptualized into the paper 1 also, paper 2 also, paper 3 also, paper 4 also. So that is why I told you into the initial time that the making of the notes is very, very much important. And similarly, there is one of the doubts which generally students ask me on the test series. Sir, test series is not about that how much marks you have scored, or you are expecting that this question of this particular test series or this question of this particular subject, the kind of the questions you are going to get into the examination. The UPSC has to just do 100 questions, and they have one of the most brilliant and the most domain expert of every single subject. So the making 100 questions, making 100 new questions every year is not a very big challenge. And if you have seen the pattern from at least 2017 to 2020 into the 4 years, how they have evolved themselves, right? So the major theme or the major objective of the test series is not about making you feel that how much you have earned or how many marks you are getting. It's more about the macro analysis, the micro analysis, learning and experiment. These are the three objective of test series, no matter which test series you have joined or which test you are writing of which particular subject. तो सबसे पहले क्या होता है, जब भी आप कोई टेस्ट सीरीज कर रहे हैं, जब भी आप कोई भी टेस्ट लगाने बैठे हैं, बी इट पॉलिटी, बी इट पॉलिटी, बी इट हिस्ट्री, बी इट इकोनॉमी, you should at least get train your mind into the way that you are actually writing a UPSC prelims examination. So it's not about कि सुबह उठे तो 15 क्वेश्चन लगा लिए, फिर शाम को लगा लिए 25 क्वेश्चन. This is not going to actually work, at least this phase of the examination. Maybe it would have worked before 3 months or 4 months when you are attempting the questions like this, but at this juncture of the examination, if you are actually preparing or going to appear in 2021, right, then this approach is not going to work out. So whenever you are writing the test, make sure you are writing into the same mind that you are going to appear, or you are going to write the examination into the examination hall, and so at least you can stimulate that kind of the situation around you. Definitely it is not going to make you feel pressure as it is going to make you on 10th of October, but this kind of the thing at least make your mind to get trained into that zone. Secondly, जो सबसे बड़ी learning है, that macro analysis, that for example you are writing ancient India or you are writing polity, right? So there are so many subject tests, right, covering different subjects into some topics or the subtopics. तो पहले तो आपको यही पता चल जाएगा कि कौन कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स आपके स्ट्रॉन्ग हैं और कौन कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स आपके वीक हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल कि आपके एंशिएंट इंडिया में 2 या 3 टेस्ट लगाए, आपको पता है कि एंशिएंट इंडिया में आपके नंबर नहीं आ रहे हैं, तो दैट मीन्स दैट यू हैव टू डू बेटर ऑन टू द एंशिएंट इंडिया. या फॉर एग्जांपल आपके पॉलिटी पार्ट 1 या पार्ट 2 में नंबर उतने अच्छे नहीं आए हैं, तो आपको पता है कि दीज आर द मेजर ब्रॉड एरियाज जिसमें मेरे नंबर उतने कम आए हैं या फिर मुझे और मेहनत करने की जरूरत है. सिमिलरली इनटू द माइक्रो एनालिसिस पार्ट व्हेन इट विल कम, दैट यू आर नॉट, माइक्रो एनालिसिस मीन्स फॉर एग्जांपल कि मॉडर्न इंडिया का टेस्ट आपने लगाया 18th सेंचुरी, फॉल ऑफ मुगल अंपायर से लेकर के 1857, these are the topics. The journey of this timeline is going to cover into the test 1. अब आपको पता चला कि आपके जो सबसे ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन गलत हुए हैं वो 1857 से हुए हैं और दूसरे फॉल ऑफ मुगल अंपायर 18th सेंचुरी से हुए हैं. ये दो टॉपिक्स आपके सबसे वीक हैं. तो आपको ये पता चल गया कि दीज आर द मेजर टॉपिक्स मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री के अंदर जिनको आपको पहली टाइमलाइन के पढ़ने की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है. ठीक, अब इसका सेकेंड एस्पेक्ट क्या है कि माइक्रो एनालिसिस का, दैट विच काइंड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन जनरली इन एनी टेस्ट सीरीज और इन द यूपीएससी ऑल्सो, आई हैव टोल्ड यू बिफोर, देयर कैन बी फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन, देयर कैन बी कंसेप्चुअल क्वेश्चन, एंड द काइंड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन विच आर बेसिकली ऑन द कोरिलेशन साइड, राइट. सो आपके फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन गलत हुए हैं, आपके कंसेप्चुअल क्वेश्चन गलत हुए हैं, या फिर कोरिलेशन वाले क्वेश्चन गलत हुए हैं, तो यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड एंड डू द माइक्रो एनालिसिस कि विच काइंड ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस यू आर doing wrong. Secondly, into the micro analysis only, the third major aspect, the learning and mistake. What learning and what mistakes you have to observe? So after analyzing these macro in two different aspects, then you should learn, then you should see in learning and mistakes that for example in 100 questions you have attempted 50 questions and you are very much confident about it, but 50 questions attempt करने से आपको पेपर तो वैसे भी नहीं क्लियर होगा, तो you have to go for further. अब उसमें कुछ क्वेश्चन ऐसे हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल 20 क्वेश्चंस ऐसे हैं जिसमें या तो आपको एक स्टेटमेंट आता है या फिर एक स्टेटमेंट का थोड़ा आइडिया है और देयर आर 2 to 3 स्टेटमेंट्स इन दैट क्वेश्चंस. अब ये 20 क्वेश्चंस में से आपने 15 क्वेश्चंस मार्क करे, ठीक. अब ये 15 क्वेश्चंस में से भी आपके सिर्फ 7 क्वेश्चंस सही हुए, बाकी गलत हो गए. तो 7 क्वेश्चन सही हुए, 8 क्वेश्चन गलत हो गए. अब ये 8 क्वेश्चन पे द लर्निंग एंड द मिस्टेक इज गोइंग टू मेक यू रियलाइज दैट इन दीज 8 क्वेश्चंस you should make sure that you are thinking about the thought कि why you have chosen these kind of the options. When you know, for example, there are 3 statements and you know only one statement, but still you have marked 1 and 3. So what was the rationality behind choosing the 3 and not 2? So slowly when you will inculcate this habit is going to help you out into the process of elimination, and the process of elimination is very much important when you are writing the prelims examination, because no matter how many sources, how much revision, how much different kind of the test or you have done the consultancy work, but on the final day the kind of the examination or the kind of the dynamicity of this examination is, you will be very much confident on only to 50 to 55 questions, but these number of questions you have to mark them right. So you are going to attempt at least 70 to 80 questions, minimum 75 to 80 questions, right? So in this 20 to 25 question, the process of elimination, the art of elimination is very much important, right? So that is the basic learning and mistakes which you have to see. Secondly, the kind of the questions which you don't know anything. For example, there are 15 to 17 questions in which you don't know anything, still you have marked 5 questions, right? So over a period, for example, over a period of time, after solving 20 tests, in the questions you don't know anything, there are 15 to 20 questions, and every time you are marking 5 to 7 questions, then you should see that after marking this 5 to 7 questions, what is the average number of questions you are marking them right, and what are the average questions of average number of questions you are marking them wrong. So that will give you your complete average, that how good you are into attempting or eliminating the answers or choosing the answers in the type of questions you don't know anything about it, right? So this is very much important. These are the permutation learning and the kind of the experiment which your mind does while solving the test series. That is why the objective of the test series is not about only counting your marks and closing the book and you will feeling okay, I have scored 130. Maybe you have scored 130 in polity, but the second day you are solving the geography, you are scoring 80. Then there should be some learning about this examination and about this the objective of the test series. That is the basic objective of the test series, to make you understand that why these kind of the learning mistakes and experiment is important. It's all about training your mind over a period of time, since from 4 to 6 months, that on the final day you are going to be on the threshold of the success. That is why I say again and again, stick to the basics, stick to the rationality, stick to the genuine sources. Don't roam around here and there. Don't unnecessarily put your energy in different kind of the notes, different kind of the things, different kind of the PDFs, different kind of the channels, different kind of the chat boxes. You are just wasting your time, nothing else you are doing. So that was the short discussion regarding the basics, and I thought to discuss these kind of the things with you, because before the examination it is very much necessary, at least till you have only 90 to 100 days. On the productive days, if I count, only there are 90 to 100 days. So you should strategize your preparation according to this module or this kind of the direction, right? So now we will start the topics which were left or which are being updated. There are not so many updations, there are only important updations which are necessary. On the health note, I think I will ask you to at least make some good notes. From my side, maybe I can dictate you, but that is not going to help you out. So I really want, because this is the topic, I think I have given you framework in the previous classes also, and I think in the science and technology also now it has been covered. So you better know about these basic things of the science which I have asked you to cover later. So now you should compile all the notes, especially on the health sector, because you are going to get something on this into the mains examination, or into the prelims also. You might be going to get some kind of the data facts or some kind of the conceptual plus factual question, mix up of that into this domain. हमको पता है आप लोगों ने तो कुछ किया नहीं होगा, तो हमने सोचा अपडेशन कर ही दें आप लोगों का. मैंने एक टॉपिक कवर किया था, बट एट दैट टाइम गवर्नमेंट की गाइडलाइंस नहीं आई थी. सो नाउ दे हैव कम, राइट? सो आई थॉट बिकॉज इनटू द फर्स्ट वीक ऑफ द मार्च दे हैव बीन रिलीज्ड, तो देयर इज़ एन स्मॉल अपडेशन. सो लेट मी गिव यू अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ बैकग्राउंड, क्योंकि आप लोग तो भूल गए होंगे, राइट? सो रेगुलेशन ऑफ OTT प्लेटफॉर्म, OTT का फुल फॉर्म मुझे बता दीजिएगा कि क्या है, ठीक? So I have discussed this topic, be it the violence, be it the nudity or drugs or objectification of women. Then, so I am talking about the just give you the background of why the need of the regulation of the OTT platforms should be there. Then objectification of women or the safety of the women. Then third, the kind of the fake news or fictional characters which are related to the some of the true stories. Then after that, this social or religious hatred which is being shown, which led to the fabric of society, right? So this is the cycle, that these kind of the factors which are very much have been seen in news, and these are the kind of the concerns regarding to the OTT platform. The platforms which have been launched in India by not directly launched in India, the approach which has been taken by the foreign players, and when they've been launched in India by the foreign players. So initially they showed some kind of the respect towards following these kind of guidelines by themselves, but they didn't work out into the proper manner. So there was a lot of debate, and especially into the recent time, the mushrooming, a very important point, mushrooming of different OTT platforms which are basically based in India without no regulation of the kind of the standard practices which are followed by the Netflix or the Amazon. For example, if you start watching a movie, into the left hand corner definitely it will mark that which age is suitable, or is there violence, is there drugs, or is there any kind of the harassment scene or the obscene scene or the nudity. Everything is written over there. But especially the kind of the OTT platform and the mushrooming of the OTT platforms and reaching out to these platforms to the rural areas, right? So these kind of these platforms are not only dangerous to the fabric of the society or the kind of the society which we are living, but the social and the religious hatred is also inculcating into the young minds. So there was a lot of debate since 2018. It has been in news that after so many PILs were fined, and in the initial days and into the later stage also, on into the recent time, there were so many PILs were filed, especially by the theatre owners or the kind of the producers who are not producing these kind of the OTT movies, right? And the PIL said that if any film is produced in India, it has to go into the censorship. But if I talk about any of the OTT platform into the name of the creativity and freedom, it don't have to get into the censorship zone, otherwise you would have not watching this Sacred Games or Mirzapur 2, right? एस्पिरेंट्स हमने अभी देखा नहीं है, तो उसकी कहानी बाद में सुनाएंगे. तो censorship or the major difference between any film or OTT platform, so they are not onto the same page, right? So that is why there were so many PILs which were filed by these kind of the people. So Supreme Court recently asked into the month of the October, when we have discussed that center what center is doing on this issue, and the moment center got to know that there can be a chance of about to the regulation of any kind of the platform, they have not made the guidelines for OTT platforms but for the digital news also, right? So recently, January and February, the draft was published, and in March it was made into the public domain regarding the what kind of the regulations the government is going to give, right? And in between also, in October or November, I think there was self-regulation kind of the debate, which some of the players didn't like it. Amazon, like for example, in terms of the OTT platform, government gave the initial option for the self-regulation of the OTT platforms. But as you all know, if I talk about the self-regulation, a very classic example, the Telegram group, in which you all are there. So the management is expecting it is like a self-regulated group where management don't have to intervene. It has just created the platform to interact you, and it has been expected from aspirants like you that you are going to self-regulate it. But you better know that sometimes the kind of the things which you are posting or the kind of the things which you are having chit chats are which kind of the regulations which you should expect, or which kind of the thoughts which an aspirant should post, or being on the other side of the table, which kind of the thoughts management should appreciate or didn't appreciate, then management has to take some of the other actions, right? So the self-regulation is the kind of the thing in which every stakeholder is not onto the same page, right? Some has some other issue, somebody will like this, somebody will not like that, somebody will join, somebody will get offended, somebody will see it's not a level playing field. Then self-regulation model is not going to happen. Then government thought, especially in a country like India, that when you are getting a chance to regulate this kind of the freedom of expression, you should always act. So in March it has been made public. So the code of ethics, as it mentions into the title, under Information and IT Act, under Information and IT Act, Article 87 Part 2, it has been released. Right. So under 87 Article 52 Information and IT Act, Code of Ethics, and it has not, I said it has not covered only the OTT platform regulation, but also it has covered some of the social media platforms, and plus regulation of digital news. So this has been divided into 3 parts. The first part covers the standard definition which these regulation or the code of ethics defines, where it has been all the major definition, and it is very much important that you should go through these kind of the definitions, because the question can directly be asked that this term means this. For example, they have defined what is the meaning of digital media, right? What is the meaning of online curated content, right? Then there in part 2 there is the regulation of this social media kind of platforms where you people are interacting, for example the Telegram or Insta or FB, right? And this is under METI. What is the full form of METI? You tell me. Then there is part 3 which talks about regulation of OTT and digital news platform under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, right? So these code of ethics has been defined into the 3 different parts. We will go into one by one. I will dictate you some of the important provisions of these code of ethics, because that can be asked directly into the prelims examination also, and definitely when you are writing a question about maybe into the governance, maybe into the paper 1 also, or especially into the paper 4 also, you can expect a question on this topic, right? Or it can be asked into the external dimension in any of the essays, right? So I will dictate you some of the important points, then I will give you a small homework, because this topic I have discussed in detail previously also, and on the basis of those guidelines you are going to do a small kind of the exercise, right? So that will give you, because we have discussed a lot of topics in detail where the things of the positive and the negative part I have taught you how to analyze them. So similarly you are going to analyze this topic also into that, the way I used to analyze that what is the need, what are the positive, what are the negatives. So on the same things, regulation, that how it is going to be positive aspect and what are the negative aspects, some simple English standard some simple English standard vocabulary, right? So write down, Government of India notified information technology bracket information technology and then bracket the code of ethics का नाम पूरा, intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code, intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code under section 87(2) of the Information Technology Act 2000, right? So then, as I have told you, part 1 is on the definition part 2 is on the social media, and part 3 is on the regulation of OTT and digital news. So in the part 1, as I have told you, there are some important definitions. So directly taken from this code of ethics, thanks to PRS India and PIB, which you don't visit ever. So as I have told you, when there is an updation, do visit to the, if you want to read about any bill, this PRS India website, and when you are going through the some important notification which has been published about the major decisions which have been taken by government or the cabinet, then it is being published on the PIB, right? So these two are very much important. Even in Yojana also this was mentioned, right? So some important definitions, and the rest of the definitions, for example, what is the meaning of the digital content or digital media, you should know, right? Don't do the blunder like if there is two statements on the digital media or digital content, you are or there is a statement regarding over the top, I have mentioned OTT platform, then you are going to make that statement wrong, right? Because you will get these kind of the statement. UPSC have asked in 2018 also, 19 also, right? Those kind of the things, like when you are reading those statements, then only the first time you are realizing that as I have given you the example of augmented versus virtual reality, right? The statement, if you read that statement correctly, you are going to mark these answers in the right place. So social media intermediary. Social media intermediary. First write down, then I will explain. Social media intermediary, which enables the interactions between two or more users. Social media intermediary means that it enables the interactions between two or more users and allow them to create upload any content on that platform. So for example, Telegram, Insta, Facebook, where you can create some kind of the content where you can upload. So that kind of the thing is social media intermediary, right? This is the standard definition. So it can directly be asked that the social media intermediary means statement 1 this, and the second definition or the second statement can be significant social media intermediary. Write down, significant social media intermediary means a social media intermediary means the social media intermediary having number of registered user in India above threshold which is being defined by central government, So social media intermediary and the सिग्निफिकेंट सोशल मीडिया इंटरमीडियरी. सिग्निफिकेंट में क्या है कि एक पर्टिकुलर नंबर बता दिया गया गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से कि फॉर एग्जांपल इन टू द करंट टाइम इट इज 50 lakhs और 5 million बता दिया गया कि अगर किसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे 5 million से ज़्यादा यूजर रजिस्टर्ड हैं तो वो सिग्निफिकेंट सोशल मीडिया इंटरमीडियरी में आ जाएगा. दो स्टेटमेंट, consider the following statement, both one is correct, second is correct, both one or none. If you don't know the definition, you have marked the question wrongly. Third, online curated content. Any content, online curated content, that any content which is of in audio or visual form, other than the news which has been curated from different sources. For example, on Netflix you will have a different kind of the sources from where the content has been pulled down, and on demand you can watch it at your ease. So that gives you liberty of online curated content. Then there is a definition on digital media also. Then there is a definition of on news and the current affairs also, which are like the basic definitions. So you can have a visit or have a look one time, right? So यहाँ तक clear that firstly the need for the regulation, then this code of ethics, then there is part 1, part 2 and part 3. Part 1 definition, part 2 social media intermediary, which is under the regulation of MeitY, and third is part of registration of OTT, which is under the Ministry of IB. Important point, please note down the notes with my lecture. Then first we will talk about part 2 and then we will talk about part 3. So first in part 2 write down guidelines related to social media intermediaries. First point, due diligence to be followed by intermediaries. first point, due diligence to be part 2, social media intermediaries guidelines. इसका क्या मतलब है? जो भी गवर्नमेंट ने गाइडलाइंस बनाई हैं, जो भी गवर्नमेंट ने बताया है इन सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स को विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द डेटा हैंडलिंग. What is the meaning of data handling and management? For example, if the government has asked that on all the data which is of critical or the private in nature, is it going to be stored onto the local servers, for example. Second, data that you have to retain, that this number of, for example, for 90 days or any of the 180 days, be it any of the financial data or kind of the critical data which you have to store, then you have to follow these kind of the guidelines, otherwise there is going to be action taken against you. That is why you see into the latest time when the WhatsApp WhatsApp made it, WhatsApp did the updation into the policy, the government is asking to negotiate on that because that is against these guidelines, right? So data handling and data management, because that kind of the data can be accessed by some of the central agencies in terms of any fugitive or any kind of the offence which I have taken, right? So first is due diligence to the, or you have to follow the kind of the guidelines which have been mentioned under this heading in terms of the data handling and data management. Second, grievance redressal mechanism. Grievance redressal mechanism. Intermediaries shall appoint a grievance officer to deal with the complaints. Intermediaries shall appoint a grievance redressal officer to deal with the complaints and share the name and contact detail of such officer. And share the name and contact detail of such officer. Second point, under this heading only, grievance redressal. एक ऑफिसर अपॉइंट हो गया ग्रीवेंस रिड्रेसल के लिए. अगर आपको लगता है कि देयर कैन बी अ डेटा ब्रीच और योर प्राइवेसी हैज बीन वायलेटेड, देन यू कैन रीच टू दैट ग्रीवेंस रिड्रेसल ऑफिसर एंड द गवर्नमेंट आल्सो कैन मेक अ can also intervene in that. The grievance officer shall acknowledge the complaint within 24 hours and resolve within 15 days from the acknowledgement. तो टाइमलाइन क्या है? 24 आवर्स में उस तक पहुंच जानी चाहिए और फिर उसको 15 डेज रेजोल्यूशन टाइम. ठीक. थर्ड पॉइंट, ensure online safety and dignity of user, especially women user. There is nothing much to write. Ensure the dignity, safety of women user. Nothing to explain in this point. Fourth, the categorization of the, as I told you, social media intermediaries and significant social media intermediaries depending upon to the number of registered user has already been done, right? So this is one of the important point. Then, so in significant social media intermediaries where there is 50 lakh or 5 million, there are some additional responsibilities and guidelines because they are having a large user base. So there should be some additional or some other guidelines which should be there, right? So additional guidelines. First, appointment of these guidelines are under significant social media intermediaries, right? So these are for 3 or 4 points under social media intermediaries and these are under this, right? Appointment of a chief complaint officer. Appointment of a chief complaint officer and appointment of nodal contact person. Nodal contact person for coordination or compliance, for coordination of compliance of acts and policies and the law, for coordination of acts and policies with the law enforcement agency. ठीक. तो एक नोडल ऑफिसर होना चाहिए, एक चीफ कंप्लेन ऑफिसर अपॉइंट होना चाहिए. सेकेंड, अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ अ रेसिडेंट ग्रीवेंस ऑफिसर. इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ अ रेसिडेंट ग्रीवेंस ऑफिसर टू परफॉर्म द फंक्शंस मेंशनड अंडर grievance redressal mechanism, and these above officers must be residents in India. So for the local coordination or to coordinate into the better way, there should be a grievance redressal mechanism and grievance redressal officer which should be located and based in India. ठीक. Third, publishing a monthly compliance report. पब्लिशिंग अ मंथली कंप्लायंस रिपोर्ट जिसमें आप बता रहे होंगे कि इतनी कंप्लेंट्स आई, इतनी रिजॉल्व कर दी, इतनी बाकी हैं. दिस इज द स्टेटस डैशबोर्ड अबाउट दिस मंथ परफॉर्मेंस. राइट. अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, identification of the first originator of the information. Identification of the first original information, identification of the first originator, identification of the first originator of the information. What is the meaning? For example, when you send a message on the WhatsApp, you feel like your message is not being tracked. It is encrypted, okay, that is fine, that is the second debate, but that message is being tracked. How you get to know? Because if your blue tick is on, the WhatsApp mechanism on the artificial intelligence is tracking that this message has been received and the chat has been opened and it has been read. So similarly, where the message is getting generated, who initially generated the message, in terms of if that message is about some religious or the social hatred, or in terms of about some crime. So these kind of the sensitive topics, if those messages are those messages can be of concerned nature, then you should better know who is the actual owner or the originator of that message, right? So this talk about identification of the first originator of the message. If it against the national security, if it against the social fabric, if it against the unity and dignity, if these kind of the things which can be of the public disturbance, then you should recognize that, then there should be a mechanism to get recognized that person, right? Then voluntary user verification mechanism. Voluntary user verification mechanism, that the user can voluntarily verify, or there can be a blue tick, as in terms of the Twitter, that there is a blue tick verification, right? So that can be, the request can be sent from the user side to get a blue tick on that note, right? So these are the basic guidelines which have been mentioned. So 2 or 3 important points under guidelines that can be asked in terms of the consider the following statements with respect to this, or whenever you are writing your mains answers, you can substantiate these kind of the points, right? Then we will come to the part 3. Which talks about regulation of OTT and news digital, right? And this is under Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, powerful ministry, right? So as I told you, there was more like the self-regulation debate which didn't happen to work out well. So government finally gave into the kind of the regulations which were there into the self-regulation, but now they have formalized into the code, or from the government now it is going to be overviewed by the governments. It is more like the mechanism which is halfly self-regulated and government is on to the over management level only, right? So government is going to see that how good they are being followed. So it's like the blended model of the self-regulation plus government intervention, right? First, OTT platforms of online curated contents in the rules would self-classify. As I said, it's a blended model. So they are going to self-classify it. As you watch the Netflix or the Prime, they classify that this is 13 plus, this is 7 plus, this is 16 plus, according to that. So similarly, government has also made the guidelines. Now they have to reclassify, if they haven't followed these kind of the guidelines, that which content can be classified under which label, right? So that first important, would self-classify the content into 5 age-based categories. So now they are going to categorize into 5 age-based categories. Why I say that these kind of the questions can be asked? Because this is one of the most talk of the town kind of the topic. So in this, not only the, that's why you have to read a little bit of in detail. If, for example, if that statement has come that according to this rule or according to these guidelines, this is going to come under five base categories or age based categories, then how you are going to deal with it, right? First, universal. 5 बेस में कौन सी है? पहली u है, दैट इज यूनिवर्सल. सेकेंड इज u प्लस ए. हाँ, इसको ऐसे लिख लीजिए. थर्ड u a 13 प्लस. फोर्थ u a 16 एंड फिफ्थ a, राइट. सो एडल्ट है मतलब 18 साल में जब आप वोट लेने के लिए भी एलिजिबल हो जाते हैं. तो दिस काइंड ऑफ द 5, फर्स्ट इज यूनिवर्सल, देन सेकेंड यू और ए प्लस मतलब 7 years प्लस, then UA 13 plus, UA 16 plus, and this A. So 5 base categories depending upon the age. So if they haven't followed, for example, generally Netflix and Amazon have these kind of the standards only, but I was saying, as I was mentioning, that there is lot of mushrooming of so many different kind of the platform. So you these kind of the things they have to mention along with इसको mention करने के बाद जैसे उसमें साइड में लिख करके आता है that drug use or abusive language or violence, they have to mention all these credentials also, right? Second, platforms would be required to implement parental lock for content classified as stage 3, that is UA 13 plus and all the above categories. And there should be age verification mechanism, a very important point, and should be there, that there should be age verification mechanism for content classified as A, right? So you feel that the content which has been classified into the 16 plus or the A is most of the normal, but just imagine me and you, which have been brought into a different kind of the environment, especially if I talk about myself, right? So my generation started just after this post liberalization and everything. So we have seen everything, right? Starting from to the Yahoo Messenger, then Orkut, then Facebook, then Twitter, and then these Instagram, or this is the entire journey. So we know how this inculcation has already happened, but just imagine the kind of the student into the first year or the kind of the student into the 11th or 12th class of this generation, which have just started the generation along with coming from to the Tinder thing, right? So they are not mature enough to handle those kind of the things. So, and especially leave it to the urban class or the urban areas where the things can be a very of the different nature, and you have lot of people to guide you on so many other things, be it into the violence, be it into the drugs. You feel that kind of the Munna Bhaiya swag style, right? You get so much fascinated. Just see yourself that the kind of the fascination you are getting Munna Bhaiya, or the kind of the fascination you are getting from the Qaleen or the Nawazuddin in terms of the characters when you see them, the kind of the fascination be into the some of the special areas of our Atulya Bharat. You better know how they are going to make them feel about it, and what is their psychological reaction of that, right? Especially into the societies, into the rural area societies, or which are under a rapid transformation these days, right? So this is very important. There is a lot of positive and negative, and the debate can go on, but at the there is a lot of debate that can be go on, but at some point of the time, for example, some kind of the responsibility as Netflix or the Amazon show, definitely that's your choice to watch or not watch. That is a very different kind of the debate. But there all the OTT platforms which have not followed these kind of habits should get into the streamline. So at least that OTT platform guidelines or the OTT platform should be on to the same level, no matter it is of self-regulation kind or it is of government controlling their nature, right? Third, programs should prominently display the classification rating classification rating specific to each content on program, specific to each content or program. As I told you, all the guidelines which have been said, they should be shown into the at the initial stage of the broadcasting of the program onto the left hand top hand side. So they have actually made that, as I told you, the Netflix or the Prime thing, उसी पे इन्होंने सेम चीज़ को लिख दिया है. More of the self regulation thing. Then publishers to the news and current affairs on digital media. There can be a lot of debate about the media and cinematography, or the kind of the changing phase of the cinema and the golden phase of the media which is being going through these days. So especially in terms of the print media, or especially in terms of the electronic media, you better know how things are functioning. So when there is a वो हमारे PM साहब की जो फेवरेट लाइन है कि आपदा में अवसर, तो when there is your main media, the mainstream media is in आपदा, there is always अवसर for the digital platform. So you see into the last 3 or 4 years, there are so many kind of platforms got emerged in India, especially into the digital news platform. You name it, the print, the wire, the News Laundry, London Top, there are endless, the list is endless, but the name which I have took are kind of the some kind of the serious genuine, or at least they are not that kind of the agenda driven people, or kind of the propaganda of the fake news are not going on. But there are so many other platforms. For example, if I talk about Op India, right, that is the platform which is purely because of the agenda basis, or on the runs on the purely fake news thing. So the regulation, how you are going to regulate these kind of the digital platforms or the news platform which are mushrooming every day or the another, anybody can start their channel. So there should be some regulation, because at the end of the day, no matter what is going into the mainstream media, there is a kind of the regulation, right? So if they are the print media, and when I say regulation, I am not saying that their freedom of speech is being curbed, but there is a regulation in terms of the guidelines, right? So for example, if you are publishing some kind of the fake news, the next day or the same day you have to apologize and make into the public statement that this kind of the news which have been broadcasted or printed by us is not right. So there should be an apology. So there are some guidelines, there are some methods, right? So similarly for the social media thing also, this is going to be there for digital media thing. So to get into the level, into the same playing same zone, or into the same level field, there should be regulation, right? So just write down now the news and the digital affairs on digital now the news and the current affairs on digital media would be required to observe norms of journalistic conduct of the Press Council of India, under the Press Council Act 1978. Second, norms of journalistic conduct of the Press Council of India under Press Council 1978. Second, program code under section 5 of Cable Television Network Regulation Act 1995. And the third, content which is prohibited under any law. So these are the 3 guidelines which have been given. Now what is your homework? You should tell me that which are the guidelines, or how the regulation of the print and electronic main media is done. Which are the acts which are involved, or which are the bodies which are involved into the regulation of this thing, right? Then there is a grievance redressal mechanism. As I told you, it is more like the blended mechanism of the self-regulation, which has been given by the government guideline, has been given that these kind of the regulation you should put, which we have spoken about, and they are going to be the center overview that the center is going to look after that. So there is like a 3-stage mechanism for grievance redressal. At the first, there is self-regulation. Then for self-regulation there should be a body. Then at the top level there is going to be the center, right? So first point, level 1, self-regulation by the publisher. So publisher shall appoint a grievance redressal officer based in India. So it's a responsibility for the publisher that they should appoint a self grievance redressal officer based in India who is going to resolve if there is any complaint or grievances in 15 days. ठीक, ये सबसे पहला पॉइंट हो गया. सेकेंड पॉइंट, सेल्फ रेगुलेशन बाय द self regulating body of the, so how the body or how the constitution of the body is going to be for seeing that this self regulation is getting implemented or the norms are getting followed. So second point is there is a body, and what is the how the body is getting constituted, that is important. There may be one or more self regulatory bodies or publisher. Such a body will have to headed by retired judge of Supreme Court or a High Court, retired judge of Supreme Court or a High Court, or independent eminent person, These are the three persons who can head that body and have not more than 6 members. तो 6 मेंबर रहेंगे इस बॉडी में. ठीक. सेकेंड, it has to be registered with the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, as I told you that OTT platform is under their regulation, registered under Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Third, oversee the adherence by the publishers to the code of ethics. So what is the this body, what is the main function? That the adherence has been made of the self regulation or the guidelines which have been provided by the government of India regarding this regulation of OTT platform. Third, the center will have, or the Ministry of IP will have, the on-site role, that it is going to see the holistic picture that everything is in order or not, right? So now I think from now the group will become more sincere and the communication, because that group is basically for the better communication, to make you understand the basic, or to make you communicate in to communicate as well as some to get into the zone of some healthy discussions, right? So make sure you are using these kind of the platforms for the enhancement of your understanding and enhancement of your preparation, right? So this is, the center will have the, Ministry of IP will have the oversight mechanism, right? There are 2 other regulations which you should write. First, blocking of information in case of an emergency has been mentioned. Blocking of information in case of emergency has been mentioned as per section 1 of 69A of the Act. As per section 1 of 69A, section 1 of 69A of the Act. So IT Act के इस वाले सेक्शन के अकॉर्डिंग, अगर कि मान लीजिए कि कुछ ऐसा कंटेंट है जिसपे एकदम आपको तुरंत इमरजेंसी एक्शन लेना है, या फिर आप इट इज़ गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ लॉट ऑफ रकस इनटू द पब्लिक डोमेन, देन an emergency action can be taken, and for that you should have a government will appoint a officer, right, an authorized officer which will do this thing. Second, furnishing of information. A publisher of news and current affairs content and a publisher of online curated content operating into the territory of India shall inform the details of its entity, that how this entity is being based, where it is located. And second, it will periodically publish the monthly report which has spoken in terms of social media intermediaries, that how many grievances came, how many complaints has been resolved, or the what is the current dashboard status of every month, right? So what you have to do now, you have to first make notes on positive and negatives on the regulation as per the new guidelines on 3 levels, that how it is going to affect social media intermediaries, how it is going to affect OTT, and what are the challenges or the positive or negative for digital news. Second, and the second homework, that how the print and the electronic media, how the print and the electronic media is regulated. When I say regulated, I am not saying that it is being, that the freedom of speech is being hindered, but I am talking about the mechanism in terms of the guidelines, as I told you, given you the example of if there is any fake news or that kind of the thing that has been published, then you have to make an apology on that, right? So this is all about the basic framework of regulation. So whenever you are writing the topics, I have told you before also, make sure that you are covering that and cover it into the layer by layer. Don't get into the don't make it a topic a mess. Segregate it as best as you can, but yes, cover its dimension with layer by layer. And those of you who randomly or most of the time often ask me regarding the notes, it's like the continuous process. It's not like you have just made for 3 months, now they have completely prepared. It's more like the enriching and filtering it day by day. It's not like the one day process or in the 1 or 2 months you are going to learn. It will take some time to make the notes. For example, many of you ask, do we have to make the notes of the NCERTs? It depends which kind of the NCERT, what you are reading, how is your reading habit, which kind of the thing you can grasp, especially in terms of the history, especially in terms of the geography, how good you are at in making the framework, or how good you are in making catching up the keywords. So how short or in how which way you have made the notes, which I have taught you that the art of making notes, where you should do the segregation also and the updation also for the prelims part, and dividing the major topics according to the paper, right? In paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. So how good you are doing, and how, if you really like, if you want that NCERTs, yes, you should definitely make notes of them. But it depends how's your that depends from person to person. If you will not show me, how will I judge if these notes are good or bad? Okay.